Well, and good evening and welcome to Who Dares Rolls TV. I am your host, Mike B. It is October, the blurred. I think it's about 19th. Where's October gone? It's flying by. So here we are again with another exciting, enthralling episode of what's happening in the board game world. Not a lot, actually, is happening in the board game world, really. It's a slow news day. But we're persevere anyway. So, played. What have we played?
What's Mike played? I really want to know what Mike's played. What you played, Mike? Oh, and you other guys.
Play games. Jaws of the Lion. Once again, that is being... we're persevering with that. The other guys on my Sunday night games group are very obsessive Gloomhaven fans. There was a Gloomhaven ship hole in their world, as we know. So we're digging on through the campaign. I think we're on about the 9th mission on there. We've opened a fair bit. There's a couple of side quests opened up. We did a side quest and did one of the main missions. We fought a boss. It's good. I like it. I really like how it streamlined the Gloomhaven process. I will say, using this in association with the Gloomhaven Helper app, which is available on the PC for free. I think you now have to pay for the actual app version, which just does away all the monster cards, all the monster stuff. Just really streamlines the process, makes it a lot easier. It's less clutter, less messing around. And with Jaws of the Lion is already kind of decluttered, this kind of really streamlines it. So you can whiz along a fair rate of knots, actually. Aside from Robbie, who still seems incapable to know the Gloomhaven rules, even though we've been playing the game for about 2 years. We're past that by. It was, again, it's really enjoyable. I'm really digging the this book. I'm not going to try and show too much, but it's, this maps. It's a really nice kind of idea. It's not in Frosthaven, I know, but that's really working really well. I didn't bother with Fortella this week because it's a shame, but it's just great concept marred by shitty technology. So yeah, Jaws of the Lion, really good. We've talked about this every week. We're still playing it. I suspect we'll be playing this for the time being, although I kind of would like to occasionally slot in a different game every so often. We'll see how that pans out. They're kind of obsessed. Friday we did some games and there was Open Rebellion because everyone is kind of a bit bored of playing Euro games, worker placements on Fridays, and Ben loves a worker placement. Ben loves a Euro. Doesn't so much care for thematic games or anything like that, so I packed my bag full of some thematically goodness. What eventually we went for, I did try and get a Rising Sun game in with 6 of us. It would have been pretty cool, but we didn't do that. We played This War of Mine, which I saw played 6, so I've never tried it with 6. I played it ages ago solo. So 6 is kind of a group think, really. This War of Mine, if you don't know, is based off the video game of the same name, which was basically about a bunch of survivors in a post-war Sarajevo kind of thing. I believe some of the original game designers were from something like that. They lived through this experience. It's a terribly depressing game on the PC. I mean, it's a riveting game on the PC, but it's incredibly depressing. The board game kind of does a very good job of implementing all of what the video game does. It looks well, the layout looks like that. It all really does work very well. I've had it sat on my shelf for a little while. I never kickstarted it. I picked it up retail, and it's now really hard to get hold of, apparently. I've never got the expansions because I haven't played much of it. But yeah, no, we played that. Ben was initially a little reticent to get into the middle of it. However, he kind of warmed to it. We played that. We didn't do very well. Someone died quite quickly. We raided some properties. Didn't have to mess around with it. It was fun. It wasn't fun. It was horrible. It was depressing, actually. But we played a few days of that, got our head around what we were doing. We may go back to that. I think restart the campaign and try again. But yeah, if you're a real big fan of the video game, it's a good version of that, a really good implementation of that. Nails it totally. But yeah. So there's that. We played that, and then we played our version of Don't Mess with Cthulhu. I have the Don't Mess with Cthulhu actual retail copy, but prior to that, it was based off a Japanese game, I believe it was, which is about bomb disposal and stopping terrorists. Didn't sit very well with the American audience, especially not far off 9/11, I think. So they kind of refilmed it into the Cthulhu game. It is playable with a deck of cards. And you essentially have 2 different decks of cards. One of them you use for the hidden identities, which you deal out, which we have is black is good, red is bad. And then you essentially use the rest of the cards. You're looking for good cards, red cards. Everything else is trash other than, I think, ace of clubs or something, which is the bad thing. I can't remember. But anyway, we did a variation on it. If you look on the internet, you can probably find it. I'm only bringing this up because I love these kind of hidden traitor sort of games. And Bob, we only played one game of it. I was a traitor, Bob was a traitor. No, we don't know who the traitors are. You don't know at the start. You just know there is two of them. Bob, about halfway through the game, we've been playing some cards earlier. He picks up his card, his identity card, and says, "Why have I still got this red card from the previous game we played?" Which essentially outs him as a traitor straight away. Which doesn't go well for him. But what the genius thing was is I'd managed to kind of sink myself into the midst of them all. No one, even though at the start of every hidden traitor game, they always accused me of being the bad guy. They'd off their guards, and they'd completely bought that I was a good guy. And we went to the final wire, the last turn, and essentially I ended up with Cthulhu in my hand, the bomb in my hand. And I knew Bob was a traitor, so I essentially just turned to him, and I had control. I'd lined it up like a tree. It was beautiful. It was seamless in my betrayal of everyone else at the table. And I essentially turned to Bob and said, "Pick the bomb," and he probably did. And we won, and everyone lost. Ben looked. He had to make a weird pingy noise. Ben looked totally confused. I don't think he'd seen it coming. It completely hoodwinked him, went past him, just sat there looking a little bit, what just happened? But we won that. That was nice. So there we go. There was that. News, board game news, not a lot going on. I did see this article on BGG earlier, and it kind of mildly amused me. It's published by Wonmin Lee. I apologise for the murdering of that name. He's a up-and-coming game designer. I didn't, of all the stuff I read, I don't think I actually saw the name of the game. Designing a card game. About a year ago, he decided to do this. And he decided what he would do is to find playtesters is the go to Tinder. Which, from my vague understanding of Tinder, it's more about getting your jollies, getting some jolly old wet willy action than actually anything to do with board games. However, he basically went for the idea as he would post it, and these are his original Tinder posts, offering free pizza if you come and play test this game, which that was met, as you would imagine, with not much success. So not to be put off, he tried again, still not much success, and then finally he republished some different photos, put that up there as a swipe right for his Tinder, and finally, in a wonderful boy makes good, got a playtest session in. I don't think many, but he did manage to do it off of Tinder. I don't know if he got any extra bonus content from that, but we do know he got that. Yeah, so that just amused me as a funny little story. There's some pictures I've shown you. It is on Board Game Geek, and the guys posted a blog post. If you go on BGG's main page, you should see it on there. Just something that maybe go, "Oh, chortle, that's funny." That's using a rude thing for a good thing. No puppies, by the way, this week, and no babies. Babies at childminders, puppy I've locked in the house with the missus, so we should be safe. News-wise, there's not a lot of Kickstarter. So, Kickstarter, there's a couple of things on there that actually did pique my interest. Shut Up and Sit Down have got their version of Don't Get Got, which is actually quite a cool concept of an idea. It comes from Big Potato. The original Don't Get Got is essentially, you have about 8 to 10 wallets, little plastic wallets, in the game, and tons of tasks or missions, and everyone fills their wallet with these missions, and essentially during the duration of a party or a gathering or a holiday or whatever situation you're playing in, you have this wallet of tasks, and the idea was to get other people to do the stuff on there, to pass these tasks, and whoever passes the most at the end of it will be the winner. It's all both social interaction, really good, not kind of great for our current times, really, as getting gatherings of people in larger numbers is a bit tricky, but the general concept behind it is very sound and fun. Never played it, but it's one I thought, that's quite cool. So I didn't even know Shut Up and Sit Down were involved in this. I got their monikers, and monikers, because it was anglicised to a certain extent, worked better for Night Groove, and I like it. I don't have anything personally against Shut Up and Sit Down. They've done quite well, bless them. So I thought, oh, cool. Actually, I saw it, and it took me by surprise. I was, oh, that looks kind of cool. And it's a £20 game. I thought, reasonable. I think I might be all over that. I'll give that a blop, because I like some of the British humour they do. Yeah. There's £10 postage on this thing. There's £30. There's like half the price of the base game. Let's say in the UK, a UK company. So that's bollocks, basically, isn't it? And I think the international shipping and everything else is equally shit. So big potato games, what the fuck are you playing at? I would have supported this, and I look on the comments, there's a lot of people saying the same stuff. I would have happily supported this, but I cannot see how you can justify a £10 postage fee for a box game, which is probably about this big, with some cards in it, for £10. I've had big Kickstarter ship for much less than that. Maybe subsidised by the company, I don't know. But yeah, it seems a complete mishit because it should do very well. It's got a great website presence on there. It's a decent game, cool idea, should absolutely kill it on Kickstarter. It's doing well. But yeah, no, at the moment I can't justify paying that sort of price postage. It just seems crazy. In worst case, I'll wait for it to hit retail, I guess, if it comes retail. But yeah, or just go and buy the original game. You probably got it off Amazon for less than the price you'd pay for this anyway. So there's that, which is a disappointment. And then there's Veiled Fate, which again took my interest. It's a social deduction game, but with tactics, a tactical game. So it's kind of a bit like War Whispers. It looks a little bit like I skimmed over it. Essentially, you're trying to do some hidden traitory stuff, hidden identity, and win the game that way. But there's all this tactical sort of based thing. Beautiful, stunning looking art design on this game. And it looks very cool. And I thought, I like the idea of that. But then you look at the price of it. I think it's like about northwards of like $80, $90, which is essentially a very small component game. I know the components, some of it's wood and some of it's other bits and all that. But it's really expensive, really fucking expensive for what is a kind of small box game. Again, I was like, really, what's going on with Kickstarter? What the fuck is going on? I would have, both of them I'm kind of interested in, but I'm not paying $90 or whatever for essentially what is a $20 game with lots of gorgeous stuff. Very much Kickstarter bloat, it feels like. I do get what the thing is. They're producing a quality thing, beautifully designed and art and stunning. All that doesn't come cheap. I understand all of that. And it's doing well, but I just think you're kind of chipping out a chunk of your market, really, would have been there to enjoy it if you'd maybe come at a bit, or even offer a more cost-effective option for those of us on a budget. Just mistrick, really. So, I'm standing on something. So that was all of that. It was very disappointing. Very disappointing. Horticulture's coming. I found this. I just memory popped up on Facebook the other day. For when I was at Essen about 4 or 5 years ago, and we met some Korean game designers, and I have their game Forland, which I've never played, if I'm absolutely honest with you, because it's almost barely decipherable rules and it looks a bit rubbish, but I've always kept it because it fantasized me, because we've got this slightly rapey panda on the front of the box. And it amused me, so that popped up and I think maybe I should try and get a game of Forland in with rapey panda. Now something else is to be, there's a box of stuff. It says Trivial Pursuit on it. I don't think Trivial Pursuit's in here. I haven't ordered myself personally a Trivial Pursuit game. Unboxing, we haven't had unboxing for a while. This is either going to be exciting or very disappointing. Probably disappointing. As I wished and hoped. So here we have the finished Kickstarter version of Daring Dust Bunnies from Andy Hopwood, Hopwood Games. Yeah, it's very good fun. This was a game, essentially, if you these dust bunnies on a carpet trying to get a push your luck game. You're essentially trying to get near the Hoover, but not up the Hoover. Up the Hoover's bad. I had a pre-production version of this that Andy had sent me, lovingly created and sent me, which I reviewed. I've somewhere around here. But, to support him and all that, I backed the Kickstarter just to see a finished thing. And a Hopwood game with actually almost some decent components. So I have a rulebook, the old rulebook-a-rooney. There's some words of wisdom in there. That's it. There's some punch boards. Oh no, I'm missing a punch board bit. Fake cards. There's lots of bits and pieces in here. So yeah, the art was. It's been. What's that? There's a sticker of some eyes. Nice. I could stick them in meeples. Sweet. That's a nice touch. So card deck. There's nice boards actually. Really kind of nicely solid deep boards. Good. It was a relatively inexpensive back. There's the missing thing. Yeah, but essentially you lay out the rooms. The art is really clear and crisp on there. You lay out some rooms on there. There is different things on these cards that relate to when you move into these rooms and what you can do. And it's essentially just passing cards around and trying to stitch up everyone and shove someone up the Hoover. But no one knows who is the recipient of the hoovering. You don't know who's going to go up there. What colours you're controlling of, should I say. That made no sense at all. That was just me rambling. So yes, you will each be a different colour dust mite thing. And it's hidden. You don't know what colour is each. So everyone's kind of moving these pieces nearer and nearer, and you kind of pushing your luck to try and see how near you can get without going up the Hoover, and hope that someone else doesn't shove you up there. So yeah, I believe it's now on sale. It's not very expensive. I think it's about 20 quid or so. It's good Christmas stocking filler, kind of, except you need a big stocking with fat legs. But yeah, really enjoyed doing Dust Bunnies. So that I'm nice to see that's been published, and I know Andy's working on a couple of other things, including a booty cool card game, which I played Games Expo a couple of years ago now, which was really good, and he says he's finished it, so I would really like to see how that's done. But yeah, Daring Dust Bunnies, Andy Hobwood, lovely game designer, lovely bloke. Go and support him, actually. His house burnt down the other day. I mean, the man has no type of luck. He's the loveliest, beautiful, lovely, gorgeous game designer, lovely man. Would do anything for anyone, and he just seems to beset some of the worst luck possible. But Daring Dust Bunnies, he's here, he's published it. Well done to Andy. I would say pick it up if you get a chance. I comes recommended. Really enjoyed it. Really fun little game. And there you go. I've got the Horticulture review to get finished. I have been filming bits of that, and that's due in a couple of days. 22nd that comes out, so it's going to be to the wire to get that out on time. And that's it, really. That is it. I think there's everything what is going on in my world at the moment. I'm sure more exciting things will crop up as we go along. But there we go. That has been our Who Dares Walls stuff for the week of October, the something or other somewhere. I've been Mate B. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back, I'm sure, next week with some more nonsense. There's also, if you're a follower of the Board Game Trading and Chat or Board Game TV, I am due probably next week to put together the releases roundup as well for October already. Jeez. So I need to do some work and get that done. Other than that, I don't know. There's a bit of content, I think, from Charlie. I think he's got some RPG stuff done that I need to put up on the website. I've got lots to do. Time is, as always, is the enemy. Stay safe out there in these ridiculous COVID-filled times. Who knows? I'm preparing myself for a nice Christmas lockdown of me, myself, and I in the shed, looking after myself. Thank you for tuning in. Have fun. See you soon. Who downvoted the baby as well? Someone downvoted Isaac. How dare you? Have you no heart? Anyway, waff. Adios. Goodbye. Farewell. Cheers. Ta-ta. Bye.
Bye.